Thank you so much. I appreciate you a lot for being here.
Pleasure.
WWDC, big day for you guys, especially for
Always.
you. I feel like always, but especially software. This is like the moment to shine.
It is. It's software's biggest day of the year every year. And our whole team is always working toward this moment every year. So it's awesome when we can finally get in front of everyone and tell them what we've been up to.
Yeah. So a few years ago, Marquez asked you in an interview about the calculator. And you had said, we're not going to do a calculator until we can enhance it and do something different.
I think we did it.
And you did. And people were stoked. I think it got like the loudest cheer out of the entire event.
Which is kind of crazy.
Yeah. At that time in the interview, was math notes already a thing? Like, had you already been thinking about it?
So, yes, but I'd say that in a way, a lot of these things, you have a lot of ideas about where things can go at any given time. I mean, we always have things where we're thinking way ahead, but I think part of it is the journey of getting to the real thing. I mean, it'd be like if you were thinking about a song and you had an idea for a song, but in the end, the song you come out with, like, it's its own thing when you're done, right? That isn't necessarily there was discovery along the way.
Yeah.
And so I think in working on math notes as we did it, we got really excited about it, and we're super happy the way it turned out.
What's the hardest part of coming up with an idea for a cool software thing and then actually making it happen?
I think Apple tends to do things very often where it involves a lot of skills at a lot of different levels. And that's why it's so special work here, because we have these people that are just amazing at design, and then you have other people who can do all the machine learning work to recognize handwriting really well. I mean, you wouldn't believe how much as we're doing even just math at figuring out the different ways that people write their math and doing that, and people's handwriting can be pretty poor.
Yeah, mine is.
And to do it really well, and to craft all that, and to figure out how to build a really easy to use, intuitive experience about that. It's like teamwork on a massive scale. And so I don't know if that's the hardest part, but that's the nature of what it means to pull these things together, and is part of what makes it so fun, is that we get to do all that together.
Yeah, I think that highlights a really good point that AI has been in Apple products for years, but this is obviously the year that Apple Intelligence has been the name. And it made me think a lot about how in technology, there's like a moment where it's heavily worked on and then it becomes like part of the zeitgeist and everyone's talking about it. What's like a current technology that you're working on intensely that like is not in the zeitgeist yet, but you think will be in a few years?
I mean, you know Apple. We don't we like to talk about it when it's ready as a final experience. I mean, even years ago, we would have said with machine learning, we've been talking about machine learning as a means to an end for many, many years now. We've been putting in our products with things like the neural engine. And I think these things, there's not necessarily a single moment where, ta-da, in a way what's been happening now is that machine learning in our devices have been making your photos better, or showing you a memory, or doing all of these things. Maybe you didn't even know what was happening there, but it was behind the scenes making all of those things possible. And this is another step, a really big step in that direction. And there are many more to come. But what's also exciting is the way that all of these things that we work on, you have these multiple threads of areas that come together. Like maybe we're doing something that's enabling some hardware, but then some big software ideas come out, some machine learning ideas come out, some design ideas come out, and then they can be percolating for multiple years, and then the moment comes where they all knit together in some amazing way. And sometimes people look back and they go, oh, Apple knew all along it was going to go just like that. And we say, we say, yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's kind of like the whole thing, you can like see it looking back, like all the dots connect.
Yeah.
So Microsoft last week came out with Active Recall. Yeah. And they got a lot of backlash online. People were saying that they didn't trust a computer knowing everything they're doing. Mm-hmm. And then Siri came out yesterday with like a similar feature set where it can see everything that's going on your device, but it was a lot better received. And I think it's because Apple has put such an importance on privacy for so many years. But how do you think about like the way Apple represents privacy, and then privacy with Siri looking at everything that's on your device?
Yeah, privacy is just foundational to us in our values as we thought about how we were going to take advantage of the capability of generative computing. That was at the center at every moment along the way, at everything we architected. I think with privacy, the values matter, the details matter a ton. I mean, every little specific detail. If you're going to trust a device to have personal content about you, well, the entire security architecture from the silicon on up, people had to have sweated the details on every bit of it. But then the decisions about what information do you gather? What information do you retain? What level of control do users have of it? Are they surprised at what happened? Or is this something that they understood and chose? The right balance of you took just the information that was needed to help them in that moment and then didn't keep it? Or did you hoard everything up and create this kind of, I mean, sometimes we view like this amalgamation of computer data as like creating like a toxic waste dump of something that's, you just don't want to build up one of those, right? You're very careful about what information you gather and keep it always in control of the user. So these are all things that where we really sweat the details. And if we've built up some amount of comfort with our users about understanding that we have their best interests in mind, I think that's fantastic. I think we need to work to maintain that every day, and we know it with every decision we make about these products.
Is there future decisions with this that will be like intentional, like it would make the product better if we did it, but we won't because it's at the breach of privacy?
We have to do more work sometimes. I think if you look at this private cloud compute system we built to take Apple Silicon servers and build them ourselves in the cloud and put a whole new operating system on them and build up all of these layers of protection and cryptography. I mean, it would have been easier to take some vanilla server off a rack and fire it up there and not do any of that work.
Yeah.
We had to do the work, but it's worth it to do the hard work.
It's like the work that no one sees enables the work that everyone sees, like putting in all the extra effort.
Yeah.
On that note, is there, last question for you, something that you're super excited about that you don't really get to talk about often, but you spend a lot of time on it? That's not like secret, like something that's actually
I don't know how this intersects with your audience, but
Tell me.
I'm a software developer, and so I spend a lot of my spare time when I'm on vacation or whatever getting back and using our developer tools and using our new APIs. And if you had a chance to watch our State of the Union for our developer audience, we're doing some really cool stuff around helping people code, like making it faster, but making it easier to approach if it's something you hadn't done before, and getting expert assistance as you're doing it. And I think that's great if you're an experienced person to move faster, but it's so exciting to me that so many more people, it's making it so much more accessible to many more people to be empowered to code. And so we get to talk about that to our own developer audience. I don't get to talk to it as much to maybe as broad a group as might watch you. And so learn to code.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. It's an excellent skill.
So
Thank you so much.
it. Yeah,
I
thank you.
So good to meet you.
Likewise.
Thanks.
Thank you.